books that you could be reading. These are some of our favorite books and most suited for teenagers, of course, and everyone else. The book I'm going to introduce you to today is Unholy Trinity. Now, it's based on a crime that occurred in Singapore. So those of you who are interested in crime fiction, this is a good one. It happened in Singapore, and when I was growing up, this is all we heard about. There's an updated version now, so this is the book that you will see. Now, it traces the murder, it looks into the minds of the killers, it talks about the court case, and all that happened right here in Save Singapore. Pick it up, read it, have fun.
A book that I think everyone should read is Rebecca Solnit's A Field Guide to Getting Lost. It's a book about abandoned hospitals, the color blue, painting, and punk rock. It's a collection of essays featuring the idea of getting lost and how we can find hope in the notion of feeling lost and uncertain, which is especially pertinent in these trying times.
Hi! So the book that I want to recommend today is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. It is actually a historical fiction novel that follows the life of a little girl called Lizzo, who was living in Nazi Germany during World War II. And what's most interesting about this book is perhaps the fact that it is narrated by Death, the so-called collector of the souls in the story. And the book as a whole also explores the themes of compassion, life, and death during war. So I think it's definitely a book that is worth reading.
The book that I've chosen to introduce to you guys is Sweet Bean Paste by Gyuyen Sukegawa. So a brief synopsis of what the book is about. It's about this man called Sentaro who has been released from prison, and he's currently on his way to try and learn how to make dorayaki, which is a kind of Japanese sweet bean paste. And he befriends this old woman called Tokue, who teaches him how to make the perfect sweet bean paste. So an unlikely friendship forms between the two of them. But Tokue suffers from a kind of disease, and what kind of disease it is, I will leave you all to find out for yourselves. So why I will introduce this book is because the language is, number one, it's simple, it's extremely touching, and it's a very poignant read of an unlikely friendship between an odd couple. Thank you.
Hi everyone! So if you're like me and you don't have much stamina when it comes to reading books, I've got the perfect book for you. Written by one of my favorite local writers, Catherine Lim. The Catherine Lim collection has emotion, has humor, has wit. There are so many short stories for you to choose from about family, about the supernatural, about womanhood, and even our lovely Singapore. If you're someone who hasn't really read local literature, this book is a gem to start on. This was my favorite book to read in secondary school because I could always read it on the go. I would highly recommend my upper secondary school students to read it, but I'm sure any and every reader who picks this up will enjoy it nonetheless. Happy reading!
Hi! The book I want to recommend is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. So the story follows Gugul, who is born to an Indian immigrant family in America. The reason I like this book a lot is because it helped me understand a different point of view and a lot about the immigrant experience. So this issue was relevant then, and it's still so relevant now. The main character also struggles with his cultural identity, which is something that I think we can all relate to, especially in Singapore. I read this book when I was in secondary school, and I absolutely loved it, as you can tell. I related to it so much, and it's still one of my favorite books. It's also very well written. I'd recommend this to upper secondary, but really anyone can read it, and so I really hope you choose to.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to introduce to you a book you can read during this circuit breaker, and it's called Becoming by Michelle Obama. So this is an autobiography of Michelle Obama's life, and it follows how she grew up in the south side of Chicago, and then how she met Barack Obama, who is now her husband, and then transitioning into a politician's wife, and eventually the first Lady of the United States of America, and it's just such an empowering book, and she's a very, very inspiring person. And I think if you have a lot of time on your hands this circuit breaker, please pick up this book and give it a read.
Hi, if you're looking for a captivating read during your holidays, then look no further. I read this book when I was in secondary school, and it remains one of my favorite reads till today. Room by Emma Donoghue is an award-winning novel which is told from the perspective of a 5-year-old boy named Jack. Together with his mother, who was abducted from a young age, they live together in captivity in a really small room, and it is a really gripping tale because it takes you through many twists and turns, but I won't spoil it for you, so you can read on to find out more. There's also a movie adaptation that was recently done, so you can add it to your holiday watch list as well. I hope you enjoy this book and keep on reading.
This is The Joy Luck Club by Amy Khan. So it follows the story of 4 Chinese immigrant mothers and their Chinese American daughters. So it's really interesting because it switches from the perspectives of the different mothers and their daughters. So as a reader, you really get immersed in like each individual story, and you also get to see how the different mother-daughter relationships pan out, especially considering like the vastly different upbringings of the mothers and their daughters. So I really recommend everybody to read this because it's something that, although the context might not be the most relatable, the relationships are definitely something that most daughters will be able to relate to.
Have fun reading. Like Neil Gaiman says, a book is a dream that you hold in your hands.
Keep on reading.
Happy reading!